Using both Monica Krause's analysis in her book The Good Project and Swidler and Watkins' critique of the sustainability doctrine as a theoretical framework, I will show how corporate sustainability refutes their findings, thus proving it is a successful development intervention. To ground my assertion in an empirical phenomenon, I will use Blummer Chocolate's Sustainable Origins Initiative as a case study for corporate sustainability. In her book, Krause illuminates the nature of exchange implicit within relief projects. She shows how donors give funds to NGOs, who use these funds to distribute relief to the beneficiaries. However, this exchange is not one-sided, for in return, both the NGOs and the donors receive symbolic credit for having helped. In the case of corporate sustainability, you have companies like Blummer Chocolate partnering with NGOs like the World Cocoa Foundation or Heifer International. Through this collaboration, they are able to target their cocoa farmers and provide help. What is different from this is the nature of the exchange, for there are commercial underpinnings to this exchange. The company as a donor does not just receive symbolic credit, but instead strengthens their supply chain so they are able to receive safe and good quality cocoa beans. Thus, one can see that in corporate sustainability, there is a much more equal commercial exchange between donor and beneficiary.
Sustainability needs to benefit all parties in the supply chain. It needs to obviously benefit the farmer in terms of increased income through better yields, premiums for quality. For us, we're seeing improvements in the quality of the cocoa, and that increases our bean yields and adds value.
Marlene New of Heifer International highlights the importance of collaborating with businesses in sustainable development initiatives.
In order to lift more people out of poverty, we need to focus on partnering with like-minded companies like Blummer that understand that there's importance to not only the prosperity of their company, but also improving the environmental conditions and the living conditions of the farm families that we work with.
Corporate sustainability also refutes Krause's logic of performing to the test. She asserts that NGOs seek metrics of scale rather than metrics of impact because donors are passively engaged and just want to see successful results. This incentivizes NGOs to help those that are easy to help. What differs with corporate sustainability is twofold. There is a value-based reason for doing this. It strengthens the supply chain in terms of long-term quantity and quality of an essential raw material. It also protects and strengthens the brand image at a time of increased supply chain scrutiny by consumers, government regulators, and NGOs. For these reasons, this sustainability initiative should continue into perpetuity, and companies should feel accountable to deliver lasting impact. Because they're looking for lasting impact, they're taking a holistic view of all factors that will ensure a healthy cocoa supply chain and improved livelihoods of cocoa communities. Social programs are designed by the cooperative and village leaders based on what is needed in their community, whether it be a school, maternity ward, or drinkable water.
Part of ensuring that farmers want to continue to invest in cocoa, so you have to look at the social aspects as well. Is cocoa also providing you access to proper nutrition, access to education, those components that we look at as being essential to a thriving lifestyle?
Corporate sustainability also addresses and provides contrary evidence to some of the concerns posed by Swidler and Watkins. They state the ideal of sustainability has increasingly become a conscious policy of donors in a more comprehensive sense. Donors seek projects that donors believe recipients will be able and willing to sustain after the donor and the donor's funding departs. Corporate sustainability efforts like Blummer Chocolate refute this statement because they have a vested interest in this initiative, and they are there long-term, for these areas are their supply for cocoa beans. Thus, they do not constrain their choice of projects to only those that will be sustained post-departure. The initiatives by Blummer Chocolate, which in part include workshops and training, address Swidler and Watkins' idea of dependence. They state the predominance of training as a core donor-sponsored activity arises from the constraints of the sustainability doctrine. That it is the ideal donor-funded activity because it provides help without funding substantive programs that could breed dependency. Though Blummer Chocolate subscribes to this component of workshops and training, it does not do so to prevent dependence. In fact, there is a mutual dependence between Blummer Chocolate and the cocoa farmers. These training workshops, instead, are intended to address specific issues farmers say they are facing with regard to yields, pest and disease, and techniques.
mucha monilla. O sea, la mata cargaba demasiado, pero todas las mazorcas se quemaban. Justamente, digamos, abrieron las escuelas de campo y asistíamos, digamos, a las capacitaciones durante, digamos, 6 meses para poder controlar el mal de monilla en el cacao.
It is clear to see that corporate sustainability, illuminated by the Sustainable Origins Program by Blummer Chocolate, is a successful development initiative, for it is mutually beneficial to both the donor, the company in this case, and the beneficiaries. There is not a moral invocation embedded within the sustainability initiative, for sustainability means something different for Blummer Chocolate. It means protecting and strengthening the future supply of cocoa, while also improving the livelihood of those producing it. Thus, I argue that corporate sustainability, if done well and right, is a model for successful development intervention.